What if the one thing you sacrificed everything for, your dream, your promise, your very identity, slipped away not because you weren't good enough, but because the world refused to let you be? That single, crushing question lingers like the taste of ash on your tongue after a fire you thought you had tamed. In Tsue to Tsurugi no Wistoria Season 2, Episode 1, Barrier Day, which dropped yesterday on April 12, 2026, the story returns us to Reg Arden Magical Academy, right where Season 1 left its scars. While Serfort stands at the edge of everything he's fought for, sword in hand, magic nowhere to be found. The air feels thick with fireworks and fear, the kind that settles in your chest like the hush before a storm you've seen in history books. Think of a lone samurai facing an army, or a runner who trained for years only to trip at the final hurdle. You don't just watch this episode. You feel the weight in your own bones, and by the end, that weight makes you desperate for answers only the screen can give. Streaming exclusively on Crunchyroll, Episode 1 picks up in the tense aftermath of Season 1's dungeon battles and Will's hard-won respect. The Academy is buzzing with final exams that decide who ascends the towering Mercedes Colossus, the path to the top mages known as Magia Vander. Will, the boy with zero magic talent but unbreakable sword skill and perfect theory scores, faces one last test. The episode moves from quiet study halls and heartfelt friendships to a grand New Year's ritual called Terminalia, where the elite mages renew the great barrier protecting the land. But when strange magic circles bloom in the sky like dark flowers, celebration turns to chaos. Monsters pour in, old threats resurface, and the powerful are left drained. No future spoilers here, just the raw events of this hour that leave you gripping your seat, heart racing, wondering how one swordsman can possibly stand against a world that just knocked him down. This episode advances the core narrative like a blade sliding into place, steady at first, then sudden and sharp. It bridges Season 1's triumphs straight into the next chapter of Will's climb, showing how far he's come while reminding us the system still rejects him. The pacing feels deliberate. Calm build-up in the Academy halls gives way to a breathless climax that drops a massive cliffhanger. No rushed filler. Every beat serves the long arc of identity and belonging. One cloudy aspect fans have been buzzing about on Reddit and Twitter: Professor Edward's brutal final exam question, "What is magic?" Engineered so Will fails by a single point. It feels petty on the surface, like a teacher grading with a grudge. But digging into the manga context, without spoiling future anime events, Edward is no cartoon villain. He was once an ascendant, a near Magia Vander who tasted failure at the tower's gates and carries that wound like an old scar. He sees in Will the same reckless hope that broke him, and he acts to spare the boy from becoming a test subject or worse in the brutal world above. It's flawed, human protection wrapped in cruelty, like a parent slamming a door to keep a child from a dangerous road. The episode leaves it ambiguous enough to sting, but that ambiguity pulls you deeper, making you ache to understand every layered choice. Will's growth hits like a quiet earthquake. We see his perfect scores, his quiet determination, then the moment he stares at that impossible question, pen frozen, face crumbling. It's not defeat that defines him, it's how he straightens up anyway, remembering the promise that keeps him swinging his sword. His friends shine too. Colette's sweet, embarrassed warmth, that near kiss caught in the act had me smiling through the pain, and even rivals like Shaun showing unexpected concern. New face Clary Sarah bursts in with sharp energy that feels fresh and alive. Every choice and line of dialogue feels true to these souls, surprising in their vulnerability, transformative in their quiet resolve. You leave feeling you know them better, scars and all. At its heart, this episode asks, what is power when the world says you have none? Will's struggle mirrors universal fights. Think of inventors dismissed as dreamers or soldiers told they weren't built for war yet who changed history through sheer will. Magic here stands for every gatekeeper. Talent, status, the right way, sacrifice, identity, hope versus despair play out in small gestures and massive stakes. It's not preachy. It lives in Will's trembling hand on the exam paper, in the sudden roar of monsters under celebratory lights. The episode forces you to feel how heavy belonging can be, and how bright the spark of defiance burns when everything else goes dark. That we get richer glimpses of the Academy's rituals, the Great Barrier's fragile magic, and the cost it exacts from even the strongest. The Terminalia celebration paints a living culture, fireworks against a false sky, laughter masking old fears. It deepens the universe without slowing the pulse, making the invasion feel like a crack in something ancient and sacred. The script is sharp and weighted. Edward's calm delivery of that one question lands like a hammer. Will's internal resolve echoes long after the credits. Lines carry foreshadowing and raw emotion. No cliches, just words that feel lived in, like whispers from history's quiet heroes who refuse to stay down. Actas and Bandai Namco Pictures deliver stunning work again. Art director Yuki Maeda crafts frames full of symbolism, warm academy lights fading into cold shadows during the exam, vibrant fireworks exploding into ominous reds and blacks as circles bloom, fluid motion in every swing and glance, stillness in Will's despair speaks volumes. Chief animation director Sayaka Ono keeps characters expressive and alive. Colette's blush, Will's gritted jaw. Beauty here isn't empty. It mirrors the story's heart, fragile hope against looming darkness. Director Hideaki Nakano, under Chief Director Tatsuya Yoshihara, uses tight close-ups and sweeping wide shots to mirror emotions. The exam hall feels claustrophobic. The festival opens wide, then snaps tight as danger strikes. Editing rhythm builds suspense perfectly, slow dread to explosive payoff. Yuki Hayashi's OST is a character all its own. Gentle strings during quiet study turn haunting in failure, then swell into urgent crescendos as monsters descend. Silence after the exam question hits harder than any roar. Motifs from Season 1 return, twisted just enough to feel new and urgent. You'll hear them echoing in your head long after. Kohei Amasaki as Will Serfort delivers a standout performance. His voice cracks with raw pain during the exam yet burns with quiet fire afterward. The tremor in his lines makes every scar feel personal. Mai Nakahara's introduction as High Mage Clary Sarah brings sharp, lively energy that lights up the screen instantly. Supporting voices, from Colette's warmth to Edward's measured cruelty, all embody their souls perfectly. This episode left me with a knot in my throat and fire in my veins. Will's failure hit like a personal loss, the kind that makes you question every step you've taken. Yet his refusal to break sparked wonder, the same spark you feel watching any underdog rise in life's toughest moments. The festival's sudden turn collides destinies like thunder, celebration and terror crashing together, shifting everything in one brutal instant. It left scars of heartbreak and seeds of hope, echoing the big human questions we all carry. How do we keep standing when the world says no? You'll feel it in your chest, that pull to know what happens next. It's not just entertainment, it's a mirror asking what you would do in Will's place. Some might call the early exposition a touch heavy, like a quick recap to welcome everyone back. The reaction to those magic circles feels a bit too casual at first, almost like no one's hitting the panic button hard enough. But these aren't flaws, they're choices. The recap grounds new viewers without boring fans, and that calm before the storm heightens the terror when it breaks. Pacing serves the themes, slow grind of daily struggle exploding into crisis. It's deliberate and it works. Episode 1 of Tsue to Tsurugi no Wistoria Season 2 succeeds brilliantly. Strong animation, deep character moments, and a cliffhanger that leaves your pulse racing. Its few small stumbles only sharpen the emotional blade. This isn't just a premiere, it's a promise that Will's journey, and ours alongside him, is far from over. So here's the question that won't let you go. When the barrier falls and the monsters come, when your dream is 1 point short and the world laughs, what will you pick up, your sword or surrender? The answer waits on Crunchyroll. Press play. The story isn't selling itself to you. It's waiting for you to need it, and after this episode, you already do.